Hey everybody, it is your girl Jessica with Cooking with Courage 99. Today I am going to show you how to make scattered crispy hash browns. They turn out amazing on the griddle. So let's jump into it. All right, I got my griddle on 400. I got some oil down, and now we are going to add some butter. We're going to saute our onions and green peppers first. Now is what we're going to do. We're going to spread this all over. Make sure every area of your griddle is coated. You want to make sure to keep them moving around constantly so that way they don't burn. We're just going to cook these guys until they're just soft and have a little bit of color on them. It usually takes about 5 to 6 minutes for this process, and I will be right back once they are almost done. Alright guys, I wanted to show you how they look at 5 minutes. I'm going to transfer these off now onto my plate. Alright guys, next we're going to get the hash browns on, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, we're going to get a bag of the Simply Potatoes shredded hash browns. You're going to add some more oil and butter. This is piping hot, so please do not have any kids around when you're doing this. We're going to lay these down. Now you're going to take your hands and you're just going to spread them out. You want to make like little wells, because what you're going to do is that you're going to add some more butter to the little areas, because hash browns need a lot of oil to make them really nice and crispy. So this is just a little trick that I do. Instead of adding oil, I use unsalted butter. Is another thing that I do. I don't use the salted butter, guys, because it won't make the hash browns crispy. It will actually end up making them soft because of the salt and the butter. So you never want that to happen when you're putting on your hash browns. So once these get a little bit brown on the one side, I'll be right back and flip them and show you how they look. Another tip about cooking hash browns on the griddle: when they first go on and they're starting to settle into the griddle, you don't want to touch these until a couple of minutes, because you want that bottom to get nice and crispy first. So that's a little tip for you guys. And you can start to see they're starting to turn brown a little bit underneath. These are going to be so good. And I got my sauteed onions and peppers there waiting. Alright guys, it's time to flip. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to flip this first section over. This is the difficult part of making hash browns, guys, is flipping them, because sometimes not everything gets flipped over, which is okay. So if that happens to you, it's alright. You'll see them being nice and crispy. Everything back scattered out. And then what we did with the other side, we're going to do to this side. So you're going to take your butter stick. I'm going to move my paper down so the paper doesn't get melted into the hashies. We're going to go back in to those little areas and add in more butter. It's not going to take a lot. Alright guys, we're going to get this side going, and I'll be back once this side is done. Now while the other side is going, you just want to continue to move them around some so that way they don't stick to the bottom as they're cooking. I added a little bit more butter. I use about a stick of butter, guys, with the hash browns because it's a whole bag. I know it seems like a lot, but it really isn't a lot when it comes to hash browns because they take a lot of oil. So they're coming together nicely. Soon I'm going to be adding the onions and green peppers back into the mix, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, now we're going to add our onions and green peppers back in. Now we're going to give this a nice toss together. Just want to move everything into the middle, and then want to start mixing. Whatever you guys do, do not use a rubber spatula on the griddle because it will melt because of the high heat. So make sure you get yourself a nice metal spatula from Walmart, Target, wherever their grilling section is at the store that you go to. And I'll let these go a little bit longer, and then we're ready for the cheese, guys. We'll be right back. Alright guys, next we're going to add some steak seasoning. You can get any type of steak seasoning. It doesn't have to be from Dollar Tree, but that's where I get mine. They got a really good one. It's $1.25. Sometimes when Dixie has them for like 99 cents. So I always check around before I get my seasonings. And I go with the cheaper one. And we're going to give this a nice stir so everything gets nice and coated with the seasoning. You always want to add your seasoning last to your hash browns, guys, so that way it doesn't end up pulling moisture from the hash browns too quickly. Alright guys, I'm going to go get my cheese and I'll be right back. Alright guys, I got the Deluxe Deli American cheese. So what we're going to do now is that you're going to divide these up into 3 or 2, depending on how many people that you got in your family. I'm going to make 3. That way my husband can have some in the morning before he goes to work. Alright. I'm going to add 2 slices to each. And now I'm going to scoot this one over just a little bit to get it away from the edge. Same thing with this one. So the heat gets in between them. And now is what you're going to do with this part, guys, is that this is the patient test area. It is going to take a little bit for this to melt. Now, if you have one of those like metal like domes that can go over this, it's going to melt a lot faster. But is what I do is that I just put in a little bit of space in between to get the heat coming up from the bottom. This is going to help it melt a little bit quicker. Once they are melted, I will be right back. Alright guys, my cheese did not take very long to melt because of what I did. Now, taking these off, guys, can be a little bit tricky. So you want to go as quick as you can, get underneath, and then just like that. Got to be quick with it so that way they come off nice and easy. Took me a long time to master this. What I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this off now so that way it stops cooking. Get my 3rd plate. And also, guys, you can use any type of cheese you want. It doesn't have to be American. It can be Swiss. It can be anything your heart desires. Now, what I'm going to do with this part here is I'm going to add them to the plate and just put them on top. Get some extra crispies. And there we have it, guys. We got scattered crispy hash browns. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I can't wait to see you guys next time. Have a great Sunday, and I'll catch you soon.